Good afternoon, Arabella. Yes, indeed, the law enforcement agencies are still on the ground here in Polokwane, as many people coming from various regions of South Africa are making their way to the Zion city here in Moria, where we're expecting more people to be arriving actually, in the early morning tomorrow. Understand that we had that, those high volumes of vehicles, especially buses, which were arriving very early this morning between 8 o'clock up until to about 11 o'clock. But also we started seeing now sedans and private vehicles also making their way, and those individuals who are using public transport, in this case minibus taxis. So that has been the order of the day, and I can assure you those buses that have already parked inside the premises of the church itself, there are over 2,000 when we looked, the last time we looked, and that was about 3 hours ago. So we can expect more volumes to start trickling in the early hours of tomorrow, which is the Saturday, considering the fact that there are individuals who are still at work and those who will be working overnight, who will start making their way to Moria tomorrow. So that's the situation here. But what we've also noticed is the collaboration of all the stakeholders, especially when it comes to government agencies, ensuring that there are enough resources and manpower on the ground to ensure that, nothing is failing in terms of those who are making their way to the church, but also those who are making that different journeys to the other parts of Limpopo for the Easter weekend. But to get more clarity now in terms of how the local government has played a part in ensuring that these festivities, are not, are not affected negatively in any way, whether you're a private citizen or whether you're making your way to Moria. I'm joined now by the first citizen of Polokwane, the Executive Mayor, John Mpe, who's joining me now. Executive Mayor, thank you very much for your time. A very busy period for the city. But firstly, before we talk about how the city has supported the services here at Moria logistically, talk to us about how are you able to find balance in terms of the resources which are needed for the daily operations of the citizens of Polokwane who are not affected by the church ceremonies, and also ensuring that the church ceremonies also go smoothly. How have you been able to find that balance?
Well, we have always regarded the church gatherings as the very important calendar date or weekend. Is the biggest weekend in Polokwane, Good Friday. So we have always got accustomed to the fact that we will expect thousands of people, coming through to Moria. But also significantly for us, Moria played a major role in bringing more tourists, and probably most people would not have known Polokwane if it was not of the city of Moria. And we are very much excited. We always look forward to this day in our day-to-day activities. Our traffic officials, our firefighting officials, municipal police, and working collaborations, of course, with the South African police services, Limpopo tourism, and everyone in the province. As you know, when it is this weekend, all spheres of government, including national government, mobilize to make sure that this weekend becomes a success. And for us, in terms of our local economy, you can see there's a lot of people selling this and that, and they are able to put the bread on the table. So the economy of Polokwane, it's the major beneficiary of these congregations.
But how important is that relationship that you're talking about? And why we might say that Polokwane has a different scenario, because you've got a very good relationship with the faith-based, organization generally, not just the ZCC Church and other churches. How important is that, especially when it comes to governance issues, service delivery? But now we are talking about the issue of local economy. How have you managed to really get the best out of that relationship?
We have always regarded ourselves as the religious capital of South Africa, or the SADC region. And for us, we have always put it as a number one weekend, this weekend, and we will have other weekends in September. So we have always prioritized, together working with our stakeholders. The relationship between ourselves and the religious community has always been the most important. Even when we consult on development, we always call all the religious community to consult them. You have seen in and around Moria, we have tarred quite a number of roads, even in the villages like your Mountain View, just next to Moria, and many others. Because our understanding is that the city itself and its own development cannot be separated from the success of the religious community, particularly talking about Moria.
I mean, the issue of ZCC, Moria generally, has always, that issue of safety on the roads has always been a very, very important subject, especially during season. We've seen people losing lives, but it seems as if, at least for now, things have scaled down, have stabilized. What have you done differently in terms of communicating with the churchgoers themselves or the church, but also with your agencies that are responsible for roads, but also safety? What is it that you have done differently this year?
Well, of course, once again, we want to thank our two bishops and the governance or the leadership of the churches themselves. They've prioritized in their messages over the years the issue of road safety, patience on the road. And for us we're a peaceful province, a peaceful city, and we have always also prioritized road safety. We have launched a program to also have a roadside assistant where we communicate, working together with the various departments, including LIDAT. And we want to appreciate the fact that by now we don't have fatalities. We had an accident on the bypass, on the N1 bypass, and we wish those that are injured speedy recovery. But we are wishing it's gonna have. We must expect some more build-up to the traffic, and we can only call upon our road users, both those who are using their vehicles, public transport, but also most importantly, the biggest problem on the R71 is the pedestrian. Let us continue to make sure that we adhere to the rules of the roads. Let us be careful. It is always better to arrive than never to arrive at all. And their lives are important for us as a city. And we don't want our roads to be notorious in terms of accidents, because it might scare away some of our worshippers to really come to the church. So we are very, very happy that there is no big incidents or fatalities so far.
Let's talk about the issues of emergency services. This is the first time where there are severe relaxed restrictions in the country. This is the first time that the church is openly, receiving individuals from across the country. That also talk to the issues of emergency services. How far have you gone in terms of ensuring that there is, a state of readiness should anything happen? Because most of the congregants themselves are senior citizens to some extent. They'll be here for a couple of days. Some might have forgotten their own medication. So as far as the health issues, health emergencies, how ready is the city in terms of providing those services?
Well, I think we've always worked very closely with the Department of Health, beefing up and strengthening our personnel with regard to emergency services. Our firefighting department knows that this is their biggest weekend as well. Mr. Rampuri here, as the head of our traffic department, knows very well that what this weekend means to all of us, municipal police, because sometimes when people go to the church, we also got to look at the residential areas where people take advantage of their absence, housebreaking. But generally, Polokwane, the people of Polokwane, has always been law-abiding citizens. But we don't want to take chances, and that is why we've deployed all of them. They are working this weekend. We've got officials. We could not allow officials, not only in terms of emergency services, but your basic services, meaning water, electricity, they are all hard at work. So we are very much happy with the level of readiness on our side, working together with our provincial government and the national government.
Thank you very much, Mayor Mpe, for your time. I really appreciate it, sir.
Always a pleasure, and thank you very much for having us.
Thank you very much. That's the Executive Mayor of the city of Polokwane, just giving us a sense of how the city has prepared for this weekend. As he said, that as far as the Polokwane city is concerned, this is their biggest weekend, which is the Easter weekend here. This is Friday. Tomorrow, expecting more people to arrive as they continue building to that big day, which is Sunday, where we are expecting millions of those individuals who are coming through to really, take their positions within the Moria city. So that's where things are at this point. Things are a bit calm now, expecting more traffic volumes to start picking up late in the evening and early tomorrow morning.
Ziniko, thank you so much for bringing us that story. Certainly a busy area that will certainly be across this weekend. We'll continue to check in on that area as well then.